All right, this feels weird to say, but hey, snowboarders, I'm Jeff from skiessentials.com. I got a special guest with me today, but before we get to that, let's just talk about snowboards in general. I know you guys think of us as skiessentials.com. If you've seen any of our other content, if you're familiar with our website, it's right there in the name, skiessentials.com. Behind the scenes, sort of, we actually sell quite a bit of snowboards too. Something that started more in the past few years, but we're really getting pretty excited about it. And our company has some unique history with snowboards too. At our brick and mortar shop, Pinnacle Ski and Sports, we had another shop upstairs called the Snowboard Attic, which I know you're familiar with. Yeah. And a kind of a fun piece of information that I thought was really cool is our dealer number with Burton, and obviously Burton's a big player, which we'll get to. Our dealer number with Burton is 7.
Amazing. Yeah.
So we were right there at the beginning. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I don't have nearly as much snowboard experience as I do ski experience, which is a big reason why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm JG. Some people call me the Shred Eye, but I'm here with my friends at Ski Essentials to help them guide their snowboard business and hopefully get you, the rider, into the right gear for the season.
Yeah.
Whether that be a board or binding or boots or a combo of all three if you need it. And, I have quite a bit of history in snowboarding. I've been riding snowboard since I was 11. And I traveled the world snowboarding. I worked with team riders and developed product for 30-something years. And I live here in Stowe with my family and ride Stowe pretty much, mountain pretty much every day. And just really excited to be here, helping, guiding, and talking people through getting the right setup for the season.
Yeah, we're psyched to have you. I mean, if we were gonna bring in a outside snowboard expert, I'm pretty sure you're the top of the list. So we're really lucky to have you. And yeah, just to speak to Stowe in general, there's strong snowboard heritage here in Stowe.
Oh yeah, I mean, there was a time at Stowe Mountain Resort they didn't allow snowboarding, and that was not that long ago.
I don't think I even knew that.
Yeah, they didn't allow it, and when other mountains around did. And so you mentioned like the Snowboard Addict, and that was like back in the early 90s.
Yep.
That was the hub of the snowboard scene in Stowe. And Bud Keane and a lot of other guys, Lowell Hart and Jenna Richard. There's a whole group of snowboarders at different levels of either teaching or coaching or the riding. More recently the Minnick brothers, come
sure.
out of Stowe. And even not just Stowe specific, riders like Jake Blauvelt is pretty local.
Yep.
So the list goes on, and there is a lot of snowboard history in Vermont and in Stowe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's impossible to come to this town and not feel the snowboard influence, in my opinion.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. And to speak to that, you guys you're familiar with calling us and talking to customer service. We have some really good snowboarders on our customer service team, which is really cool. So we're set up for success here, so to speak.
Yeah.
Now, JG, I know your background you've been heavily involved with product development.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to us at all about just the process of snowboard design in general, the different genres of boards?
Yeah.
I know that's an extremely broad question.
Yeah, it's pretty broad. I used to be very heavily involved with all aspects of the product, mainly boards and bindings. And over time, it kind of focused on more boards for whatever reason. That seemed to be, one was the easiest thing to prototype. Yep. And to make changes and get back on snow. And a lot of the boots and binding stuff would take a lot longer, and the prototype aspect of it wasn't as fluid or as quick. But over time, there were many years I was riding over 100 different boards a year.
Yeah, that's great.
Up to 150 boards a year.
A lot of prototypes and stuff.
Well, prototypes.
Yeah.
And I never used to count my days because it didn't really matter. My days, it was like how many boards I'd ride. And
Yep.
I knew once I went over 100, that was pretty good season, 100 different boards. And a lot of people ride the same board every day for years on end. They don't know any difference of what another board even feels like.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of different boards out there these days that, basically you have twin tip boards where the shape and the tip and the tail are exactly the same, and the flex could either be the same in the tip and tail as well, or you have more directional style boards that are more all mountain or free ride boards where the stance is set back, the nose is maybe a little bit wider than the tail, there might be some taper in the boards, and the boards they could be a little bit narrower. And now boards come, normal width, or models come in wides, depending on your foot size. And that's a big key to getting dialed into the right board is knowing your right foot size, knowing your boot size, and then you can match it up to the width. That's really important.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've talked off camera a little bit about that process of selecting a board.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that we're going to be talking about more and more with JG. We even threw around the idea of like you helping me get myself set up on a board, which I think would be really fun. So yeah, I mean your background in the sport is unbelievable, and it's so cool to hear you talk about riding over 100 different boards in a season and like not really thinking about days on snow. Because that reminds me, it sounds exactly like my season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not testing prototypes for a single brand. I'm testing skis that have already reached the market.
Yeah.
But yeah, this past year I skied like 150 different skis.
That's awesome.
And it is that same concept of like some people ski the same thing every day.
Right.
It's a totally different experience when you're out there literally trying like every possible different option.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It might not have helped my ability, but it helped my ability to like fine tune and hone in on what really works.
Sure.
And I was always developing product, with the end consumer in mind. Like, not for myself. This is something that a consumer at this level for this style of riding or terrain or snow or whatever, they would like that. And as I developed boards throughout the years, boards that I seemed to like and really hone in on some of my shapes and that I did, I knew a lot of other people would like those as well. And honestly, I don't, you don't have to ride something or ski something for days on end to figure it out. You can take a couple runs and you have a pretty good idea what's going on with the product. And there's a lot of on-snow demos and stuff, even for consumers.
Yep.
And that's a great way to get out and try a couple boards in the same day in the same conditions. Take a run or two on each board, and you have a better idea of what you want and what you want to get out of that board.
Yeah. Demoing is always awesome. For anybody out there that maybe don't have access to an on-snow demo, I know there's parts of the country where like that it doesn't happen as frequently.
Yeah.
We're gonna plan on doing some snowboard reviews and some kind of helpful hint videos on how to select the right gear for you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that in the future. How about a fun question? Over your experience in snowboarding over the years, what's your most fun memory?
Oh, wow. Most fun memory? Oh, my goodness. There's a lot of them.
I'm sure there's just one good one.
One, holy Toledo. I think most recently is just riding with my son.
That's awesome.
And there's been, he's 12 now, and he started snowboarding when he was 2, and, now I'm following him.
I've probably seen him on the mountain just ripping by me.
Probably. And so, before that, like I had mentioned before, I've snowboarded all through Japan, all over Europe, South America. I used to spend a lot of time in New Zealand. And what that did is that gave me knowledge to riders and terrain in different areas of the world and what, everything's different. Trends are different, riding styles are different, snow's different. And I used to bring that back and then, use that knowledge of the world and the snow and mountains to hone in on the product.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, that experience of getting to ski different places and different terrain is so valuable. I've been lucky enough to live in different parts of the country and take a couple of trips to Europe. And the snow conditions is such a huge thing.
That alone.
Like, I didn't know what anyone meant when they were talking about Sierra cement until I lived in the Sierras and was like, oh, I get it now. Unbelievable to have your wisdom here at Ski Essentials. Thank you for being with us. We're psyched to have you. So just some quick information about us in general. Like I said, we're going to have more snowboard videos out down the road. Just to kind of touch on some brands that we carry. Unsurprisingly, a lot of them are kind of crossover ski brands. But as far as I know, these companies are making fantastic boards now.
Well, like the brands that Ski Essentials is carrying is K2 Ride, Solomon, Arbor, and Rossignol, right? And all those brands have been making snowboards for at least 25 years.
Yeah, so got some history in it.
And so you look at those brands, and it's not like a new snowboard brand. It's like who maybe start up a factory or having somebody OEM a board. These guys make their own boards and have their own factories, and they know what they're doing.
Right.
And they all have, incredible teams of riders that help them develop the product. So even if it has a ski tag to it, that's not a bad thing at all. It's like you're making quality product.
Yeah, I mean, the manufacturing process between a ski and a snowboard is exceptionally similar.
Very similar.
The press is a little wider, but other than that, it's pretty similar.
Yeah.
So, these are reputable manufacturers. Mm-hmm. And we've got some pretty cool boards up here with us.
Yeah. There's a good mix of, shapes. There's a lot of shaped boards now, with pointy noses and swallow tails. And
wild.
Very specific for certain snow conditions.
Pat was saying, one of our resident customer service experts, that this is the type of board that you take out rarely.
Yeah.
Couple times a year on those perfect powder days.
But then that board will last you forever. Yeah, exactly. And they have your boards, for myself, like I have boards that I ride kind of like early season boards, I'd call them.
Yep.
Then when the snow's not that good, especially in the east, maybe it's a lot of man-made snow. And then I have my in-season boards, right? The hub of it of, like February and March when we have a lot of snow in Vermont.
Yep.
And then I have my late season boards, like in the April and May type thing. And so I change it up based on, the length of the season. And
I can only imagine how many boards are in your garage.
Oh man, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. But it's if you look at, it's funny because I ride so many snowboards, but I do the same in skating. Like every time I skating quite a bit. Every day I have 3 or 4 different boards in my car, and I just, depending on who I was skating with, where I was skating, and how I was feeling, I'd switch up I'd just grab a different board. And that definitely did not help my skating, but it helped me just mix things up.
Yeah, it's fun.
And if I'm skating the same spot every day, changing my board changes up that spot.
Right.
And surf too, it's like, the quiver mentality in surf is like, if you're into surfing, you probably need a couple different boards for the changing surf conditions.
Just like a quiver of skis.
And it's a quiver of skis, or no matter what. And if you take care of your equipment, this product lasts a long time. So like your favorite powder board, you might only ride it a couple days a year, or, hopefully more, but that board's going to last you for years and years, So it's not like you have to replace that board, but you might upgrade one of your other boards that you'll ride more.
Yeah.
So thinking of it like that, and you can always, your boots are your most important piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And that's something you don't really change, or I personally don't change much, and I get a couple years out of my boots.
Sweet. That may be a difference from skiing.
Yeah.
Skiing, the plastic breaks down at a certain point.
Yeah.
So that's cool. We'll have to dive into that more on the longevity of a snowboard boot.
It depends. They last. Take care of them. You dry them out. You don't leave them. Too close to the fire at night, drying out and stuff. And your bindings too are something that they're easily interchangeable from one board to the next. So you don't need a ton of bindings. They go on and off real easily. compared to how your ski bindings, you're not changing from one ski to the other. So you need bindings to go on every pair of skis you have. But the snowboards, it's really easy to change.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So yeah, again, psyched to have you. So some things to expect down the road. We'll do some product reviews.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do some, probably focus mostly on boards,
Yeah.
but probably touch on some boots and stuff too.
For sure.
We'll do some how-to videos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how to set up your board. We've talked quite a bit about stance, width, and angles, and all that stuff. And I know you have some opinions on that stuff about what the general public does and what they maybe should do. So we'll have some helpful hint videos. I also really want to give everybody out there an opportunity to let us know what you'd like to see. Maybe you're an existing snowboarder. Hopefully you're an existing snowboarder. And maybe there's a lack of content that you think out there. So let us know. We have an unbelievable asset here that we can pull from. So pretty much endless in what we can do.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be super, super fun.
Yeah.
And obviously once the snow falls, we'll get on snow and
Hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, I was just getting nervous about the idea of snowboarding.
Oh yeah, well,
I'll dig down deep.
You can try it out the snowboard, and I think I'm going to stay away from the skiing round for now.
I think what's going to work best is I have a camera in my hand and I'll follow you as you snowboard.
There you go.
Maybe we can get your 12-year-old son in there too, or some of those pros.
Yeah.
So yeah, JG, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you to everyone that watched. Let us know if you have any questions for JG.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy to relay those questions,
please,
and
please
we'll get
do.
answers to them.
Yeah. Until next time.
Thanks again for being here, and until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody. Cool.
Sweet.